Sunshine is an abundant and free resource. We've talked about solar energy before, and we'll talk about it again and again. Not only is sunshine the principal source of energy for most of life on Earth, but it's so useful, limited only by our imagination in ways to capture, store, and then extract that energy when we want it. One of the most effective ways to use solar energy is to capture its heat and store it as heat. Simple, old-fashioned technology, no fancy parts. We can hang a black bag in a tree and have a shower at the end of our hike. You can run hose on your garage and heat your swimming pool. But the trick is, what do you do in our climate in the winter? Even in the spring and fall, when the risk of frost is always possible. This morning it was minus 30 Celsius, and this afternoon the intensity of the sun will be stronger than it is even in the summertime. Here to explain how to harness all that valuable energy, meet Jared, who lives in sunny Saskatoon. Hi, Jared.
Hello.
So, please explain for us how this water heating system works.
Sure, it's my pleasure. Right now, you can see on a sunny afternoon, there's a ton of solar energy landing on the panels above the house. The challenge is to get that heat inside the house where we want it. So inside the house, we've got a pump that runs a food-grade antifreeze up to the panel and back down inside the house to take that heat from outside and bring it inside. It's just that simple, really. There's a small panel on the side of the larger panels that is specifically there to drive the pump for the whole system.
Shall we see where all this heat's going then?
Yes, let's.
So here we are in the basement. Let's take a closer look.
Yes, here are the brains of the system down here. It all starts inside the solar boiler box here. Inside here we've got a large pump, a heat exchanger underneath, and a box to control the whole system. When the heat is available upstairs above the house, this black box tells the pump to turn on, and that starts transferring hot fluid from on top of the house down into this heat exchanger. And then when the heat exchanger is warm, it transfers that heat to these pipes, which in exchange warms up our water tank. So we get the heat from the panel to the heat exchanger and then to the water tank.
Can it get too hot?
Yeah, it can actually get quite hot, especially in summer when we're not using the heat to heat our house. So there's a valve there to make sure that none of that pressure gets trapped inside the system.
Cool. So now how hot is it, by the way?
Currently, the tank is running at 45 degrees Celsius or 110 degrees Fahrenheit. It would be much hotter if we weren't using that to actually heat our house right now. But as soon as the temperature gets high enough, it starts pumping it through the house as well.
So the tank gets hot, and then you can dump excess heat? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, we're running the water or the heat from our tank through the floor of the house. So we get to walk on a warm floor. It's quite a treat actually in winter.
There are a couple of solar water heating technologies on the market today. The flat plate collector is the most versatile. You can use it residential or commercial. It's also low maintenance and the most affordable. Here's how it works. Food grade antifreeze comes in through the plumbing from the tank area, and it goes into the panel, which consists of mainly glass on the front and insulation on the back and sides. So the glycol comes in and it's spread out through this series of very small tubes, and it's integrated into this material we call fins. These fins are made out of copper and painted black, so they're very highly conductive. And when the sun strikes the panel, the glycol heats up and it takes heat off of that copper fin. And as the glycol heats up, it rises and it gets replaced with fresh glycol. And that's pretty much all there is to it. If you have a situation where your panel is actually below and your tank's above, you don't even need a pump. The glycol will flow all by itself up through a process called thermosiphoning, and the denser cold material will automatically replace it below. In most situations where we put our panels on the roof or high to capture sun, you have to pump the glycol through the panel. Now you can put that through regular electricity through the house, or you can use, like what Jared has, a simple photovoltaic panel. And what this does is really nice because when it's really blazing hot and you've got all kinds of heat in the thermal panel, well, this will force the pump to run at full speed. Or if it's the end of the day or dimmer and you've only got a little bit of heat, this causes the pump in a variable speed way to just go at a low rate. And so it's self-regulating, and that's one of the things we love about solar. Jared, are you happy with the system?
Yes, very happy. It's so fun to come in on a summer day and know that my shower is free energy that day, and on cold days like this in winter to know that I'm still trapping heat inside my house when it's minus 20 outside. That's just a pleasure. Every time the pump starts to rumble in the basement or turn on, I just smile.
It's a warm feeling?
Yeah, it gives me a warm feeling inside.
Do you have any idea of how much money you're saving?
I tracked it over the first couple of years, and I found that I started using a lot less energy. It wasn't specifically just because of this one change of adding the solar water heater, because I also added insulation for my house as well. But with the combination of increasing the insulation of my house and using the solar water heating, I've reduced my energy by half for all of my heating needs. So,
By half?
Yeah, so that was a pretty good reward for investing in this.
That is excellent. Yeah. Well, you know, we very much appreciate you sharing your story, and thanks for showing us around.
You're quite welcome.
Check the phone book or the web for certified solar water heating installers. It's also worth noting that many builders and plumbers will rough in a solar water heating system during construction or renovation, making it really easy to put in the panels and the pump later on, like when energy rates go up or if you're teenagers in the house. For more Green Deeds, check out our website at greendeeds.ca. I'm Janine Paul, your host. See you next time.